Good evening. Welcome to the Fort Valley Boys podcast. I am your host and moderator, Fabian Vicks. I got Devin Roundel.
Hey, Fib.
Hey, Devin.
What's going on? What's going on, Fib?
Hold on, Devin. So this episode, we might sneak some NBA in there, but this is nothing but college basketball, women in sports, Caitlin versus Angel, Angel versus Jill Biden, Don Staley versus the world. So we're gonna get everybody in as much as possible. And you know what we about to do. We about to start this show.
Let's do it.
Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Boys. Yeah. Hold on. We them boys. We them boys.
As I stated a few moments ago, this is the Fort Valley Boys podcast. I'm your host, Fabian Big Scott, D. Roundel, Pretty Tony, what out?
PT.
What's up, fella?
What's going on with you, big dog?
And of course, let me take care of a few housekeeping things before we get started. Of course, you know our shows on Sundays and Wednesdays at 9:05 p.m. You got crazy straws as an ad. You're crazy, you got some straws. Make you a crazy straw. Just for me, you got to do a grade in your beard. Stop by Walgreens, CVS. Get that CB4. It'll clean it right on up. Just for men. At your local drugstore. Sprite, the black folks drink. One of Damon's sponsors, Arizona Tea. If you've been drinking this since Fort Valley, you got diabetes by now.
You got it bad.
You got it bad. How long have bit $1, Damon?
Since 1991. Maybe 1891. Who knows?
Ain't no telling. 1883, 1923, Yellowstone. One of them three right there.
Hey, that's the only drink that survived the dollar, even in inflation.
If you drunk Arizona tea while you was at Fort Valley, you are immune from the coronavirus. All right. Follow us on Facebook and the Twitter. Not the Twitter, I'm sorry, the YouTube. Fort Valley Boy Podcast, buynightshirt.com. You got your stuff. You know what you need to do. You went to a black school, went to HBCU, not black school, HBCU, because Georgia Southern not at HBCU, but it's a black school. Neither here nor there. You went to HBCU or you pledged Greek, go and get your stuff in there. buynightshirt.com, Bernard Ingram, Fort Valley alone. Damon's new podcast, Chopping It Up, going to be cranking up real soon. Damon's going to he's going to be at a barbershop. We're going to get him at Michael Andre's barbershop. And
real soon, fellas, real soon. Real soon. We starting real soon, man. Had some difficulties with some of the equipment I needed, but we starting real soon. Got the backdrop, as y'all can see. But real soon, fellas, we gonna get it going. Boy, that first episode gonna be wilding out, baby. Wilding out. We talking everything, man.
Okay.
And of course, we got Crown Royal XO and Ginger Ale, also with Hennessy, but they're also known as the dark liquor. The dark liquors.
The dark liquor, baby.
Dark liquors. Guys, how y'all been, man? How's y'all week so far?
Hey, man, so far so good. You know, had a little health scare last week with the missus, but she doing a whole lot better, thank goodness.
Thank God.
Other than that, man,
Thank
God.
God.
Good, you know what I'm saying? But why we gotta, I'll talk about it later. I think I'm gonna use that as my party shot.
All right. What about you, Pretty Tony?
Man, I can't complain. Don't nobody want to hear my problem. For real.
There you
I
go.
can't complain. Minus the bullshit, life's great.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No, I can't complain, man. I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed.
Yeah.
What about you, Fade?
Yes, sir.
On spring break that week.
Oh, so you ain't doing shit.
No.
I'm hearing paper rattling this shit now. What you finna, you finna munch and eat on some shit right now?
Yeah, you got his bag.
Might. You went to Fort Valley, you know Mike here.
Yeah.
All right. We like I said in the intro, we're gonna cover a lot of college basketball. We might touch on some NBA, but So let's talk about this tournament. I want to start with the men first because the women going to take up the majority of the time. Let's get the guys out of the way. UConn have won their 5th national championship. This is the 5th championship in 25 years. They have the most championships in that 25-year span than Duke, Kentucky, University of Florida, Kansas, Villanova. And those are teams that won multiple within that time span, except for Kentucky, of course. Let me ask you guys this. I'm not going to dwell on the game because the game, San Diego State kept trying to push back, but UConn was just too powerful because they ended up pulling away and won by 17. So, no, I mean, every game they played in the tournament, they won by double digits. And UConn was rated as high as number 2 during the season. They had a little spell when they hit the Big East schedule. But Marquette was a grown man until they ran into Michigan State, which guard play and coaching, which we've been saying for the last 3 weeks. But UConn has won national championship with a third different coach. Yeah, Calhoun, Kevin Ollie, and now Danny Hurley. Is UConn the most elite blue blood right now, Danny?
According to the criteria you just read, I seen a stat where they have won a national championship last 4 decades, and they put them up, and that's astounding. And we slip on when we mention blue bloods. We not quick to mention UConn. We should mention them up with the best of the best because they have won national championships just as well as Duke, Carolina, Villanova. Got to say that they, as of right now, you can argue that they are the best blue blood in basketball right now because 5 national titles in 25 years, that's every 5 years they've won it. I mean, if you're going by that stat.
Yep. And 4 to 5 have been in Texas. 1 was in Florida, which means they like to win championships in state tax-free states.
I say this, man. It's hard to argue that they wouldn't be the elite blue blood right now. It's hard because they're 4th in national championships now, total.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, a lot of people not quick to run off the name UConn. We are to now. Calhoun, Ollie, now Hurley, they've won championships, so you might have to say yeah.
What before we go on, I just want to let y'all know when they go low,
you go
what
high.
do you do? Go high. Tony, what's your thoughts?
On the blue blood thing?
Hey guys. Hey, how y'all doing?
Hey Mike.
Hey guys.
Mike will join us in just a moment. Go ahead, Tony.
On the blue blood?
On the blue
question?
blood, yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. They're blue blood. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Definitely got the most championships as of late. And even when you factor in, I mean, I know we talking about men's basketball, but even when you factor in the fact of how dominant their women's basketball team is, definitely a blue blood, man. They are, they up around the elitist of college basketball, without a doubt.
Joining us now is Michael Atwater. When they go low, you go high. So we're not going to acknowledge the name that is on the screen. Michael, is UConn? Would you consider UConn the most elite blue blood based on they won 5 championships in the last 25 years? They have right now they're in the top 3 in programs with national championships. UCLA, you don't want to discard history, but UCLA hasn't won the title since '95 with Jim Herrick. But you're on mute, Mike.
You're on mute, Mike.
Go ahead, Mike. There you go.
To me, to be defined as a blue blood, you got to be a team that, of course, won national championships, putting dudes in the league, getting 5-star, 4 and 5-star recruits, winning your conference all the time. UConn done that. I think the problem with UConn is they're not in the Power 5. They're just a strictly basketball conference. And a lot of time people overlook that. But UConn, I think, is a blue blood. You got to put Villanova in there. Villanova done won 2, or they done won 3 in the last 40 years, but Villanova is in there. So with all that being said, yes, UConn is definitely a blue-blooded program. In the last 25 years, they have won more championships than anybody else. I think they got 5. They won in 99 with Rip. They won with Ben Gordon. They won with Shabazz Napier, Kemba Walker, and now this squad. So, hell yeah, UConn a blue blood.
Well, I'm asking is, are they the most elite blue blood? The most elite blue blood? The most elite blue blood?
Well, they're not necessarily the most elite blue blood because they don't check all the categories. They can't necessarily be an elite blue blood because, they're not a Power 5 school in a sense. They don't constantly have 4 and 5-star. Like this squad right here, the highest ranked player that they had was Jordan Hawkins. I think he was like 55. So they're not necessarily getting those 4 and 5-star dudes. But Jordan Hawkins will probably be a lottery pick. Watch what I tell you. He's a first rounder. He'd probably be a lottery pick. So when you one of the leaders, UConn got these championships, but they can never compare possibly to Duke, North Carolina, and Kentucky and Kansas.
UConn's in the Big East.
Yeah, UConn in the Big East, but a lot of time people overlook the Big East because it's strictly basketball. A lot of time people just pay attention to the Power 5 because they got basketball and football. But best believe the Big East, they had 2 teams in the Elite 8. They are a power conference. So there's, just in the sense the Power 6.
I was the Big East, as far as we just saying basketball, college basketball, you could say that's a strong conference because that dates back, even though they reconfigured it, it dates back all the way back Villanova, Georgetown, St. John, Syracuse. That was a huge conference. The reason why now, Mike, the historians would know the original Big East is to say that UConn didn't leave. It's still a considered a basketball conference when it comes to college basketball. So them winning national titles and it still say Big East, that will still say they are one of the elite blue bloods, and not factor in 5 national titles in 25 years. So you saying statistically, once every 5 years, they cutting down the nets. So that kind of pushed them in a blue blood status with the Dukes and Carolinas because, quite honestly, not even Duke can say they cut down the nets once every 5 years in the last 25 years. So
I think Duke got 4 in the last 25, don't you?
3.
I mean, that's some heavy company, Mike. I hear what you're saying, and I'm not totally disagreeing. I'm just giving you a rebuttal on what people like, cats that really follow college basketball like we do, they'll give you that rebuttal, I think, to say, well, the Big East has always been a strong conference, basketball-wise. Although you make a great point, they're not really known for football, but it's still a basketball conference that produced the Hoya Destroyers and Ray Allen and Allen Iverson and you know what I'm saying, John Wallace and all.
Don't forget about Rick Pitino's Providence teams in the 80s. Don't forget about those teams either.
So I'm looking at as far as like national titles in college basketball, you still look at the Big East and what they've done and say, okay, yeah, they're strong. Well, you can say they are a blue blood and an elite.
Let me see if I get there right, Faye. I'm just going just off the top of my head. From 98 to last 25 years, I'm gonna see if I can just the champions. Florida got 2, UConn got 5, Duke got 3, Maryland 1, North Carolina 3, North Carolina 3, Kansas 2, Baylor 1,
You starting back from what year?
Syracuse won. Shit, that's about it.
From what year you started?
Kentucky.
You started late 90s?
I'm talking about we said the last 25 years. So the last 25 years, Kentucky don't win. We go 98 to now. Kentucky don't won 2. UConn don't won 5. Duke 3. North Carolina 3. That right there, hell, that's 13.
Yeah.
Florida 2. That's 15. Maryland, Syracuse, Michigan State got 1 apiece. That's
Right.
what, 18?
Right. Villanova got 2.
Villanova got 2. That's 20.
Virginia got 1.
Virginia, that's about it. So we done had what, 9 champions in the last 25 years? 10?
Louisville. You forgot about Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville got 1. Yeah.
So if you look at it, the dominant conference, if correct me if I'm wrong, probably is the Big East
And the ACC.
and the ACC, correct? Because in the last 25 years, UConn got 5, Syracuse got 1, Villanova got 2. Who else? Big East. That's it. So you looking at what, 8?
Well, hell, the ACC right there with them. Duke, North Carolina, and
Right, that's what I said.
Louisville.
hell, Duke, North Carolina, Louisville, and Virginia.
Yeah,
And at the time when Maryland won it, they was in the ACC.
right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And in the last 25 years, I don't think the Pac-12 don't won one at all.
They
You
have,
forgot about Michigan State, Mike. Michigan State.
that's the Big
Yeah,
10.
Michigan State.
They only won 1. That's the Big 10. So the Pac-10/12 in the last 25 years, because Fave said it, they haven't. The UCLA was the last national champion in the Pac-10.
Arizona the last one.
Arizona. Okay, Arizona was the last
That's
one.
outside that 25-year window, though.
Right. So in the last 25 years, the national championship have been dominated by the ACC and the Big East. Two traditionally known basketball conferences.
Corey Green, what's up?
If you look at it, what up, Corey? If you look at it, them boys they're in the league blue blood. I think Dave asked the right question. And now, if you look at what everybody just said, UConn could be considered in the league blue blood on as far as basketball, college basketball. They damn sure elite when it comes to women's college basketball. There's no question about that.
Yeah, the only thing, like what Mike said with UConn be the most elite program is their recruiting class.
Yeah. But that kind of makes it even better. If you can take
That's what I was gonna say.
if you take a smaller recruiting class that got lower echelon players as far as the one and dones, if you can do it with them, that makes it even sweeter.
Yeah.
Because remember, we in a time where Zion and Cam and cats like that, they one and done, and even some of them ain't even going to college.
When the last time a one and done loaded team won a chip?
Kentucky. Duke and Kentucky.
Duke, when Duke had Tyus Jones, Justice Winslow, and Jaleel Okafor. That's the last one and done type team that done it.
And only one of those players that relevant is Tyus Jones.
That's about 8 years ago.
Yeah, because
And Kentucky done it like 2 years before them.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky done had, really, to be honest, in that little time span, Kentucky done had 2 unbelievable squads that should have won it. The first squad you had with John Wall, Boogie Cousin, Eric Bledsoe, that squad got beat by West Virginia in the Elite 8. Then they came back about 3-4 years later when they had Devin Booker, Karl Anthony Towns, Tyler Ulis, the Harrison twin. They went like 38-1 or some shit that year.
Yep. That one loss was in the tournament.
Got beat by Frank Kaminsky in Wisconsin.
Yeah, 3 back-to-back 30-second violation. We got shot. Just hopping on that shot. What's going on now?
What's going on, gentlemen? Everybody good?
What's up?
Yes,
What's
sir.
happening? What's happening?
Yeah, we want
You
to.
got a new background?
Yeah, man, the background finally came, but the mic didn't come. When it rained, it poured, bro.
Okay, I see you.
Appreciate it, man.
Mike, you got a new background too?
I'm driving. I'm in a car. Hey, don't worry about the background, man. You just come on the show, okay? All right. Next topic,
I
Faye.
apologize.
Now we gotta get shots thought on this. So, just get your quick thought on this before we move on to the women's game.
Okay.
UConn in the last 25 years have won 5 national championships. They have won the most national championships in the last 25 years over Duke, North Carolina, Villanova, Kentucky, even Florida. Are they the most elite blue blood?
They've accomplished more, but they're not elite. I mean, when you talk about status, you know, if you want to know who the elite blue bloods are, just follow the 5 stars. The 5 stars will tell you who the elite people are. Now that's not taking nothing away from UConn, but I don't think they had any 5 stars on their team, right?
That would be right.
Yeah.
Right. Now again, that I'm not taking nothing away from them, but the 5 stars tend to tell you who the blue bloods are, and that's no different in any sport. You go to college football right now, follow the 5 stars, and you'll find the elite the schools. That's the Alabamas, the Georgias, the Ohio States, the Clemsons. They go to elite schools. That's where the 5 stars roam.
All right. Starting next season for UConn, they are tied with UCLA as the favorites for next year. Okay. So that's going to be interesting to see.
UCLA.
I'm glad you said that. Everybody. I think another thing that may keep them from being considered elite. Again, I'm not saying that they're not, but I think another thing that may prevent people from looking at them as elite is also the alumni. Like when you say UConn, first name come to my mind is Ray Allen. And then after that, you know, Kemba Walker, Rip, and then it get a little dicey. You know, when you say Carolina, you talk about that guy. And then you talk about them other guys. You know, Kentucky, you know, Duke, you know what I'm saying? So I think that has a lot to do with it as well.
Those 3 schools, even the average Joe who came from them 3 schools. The average Joe, North Carolina, Michael Jordan, James Worthy, Sam Perkins, they can Brad Doherty, they can name, you know, they can name them off. Even the average person can name off those 3 schools top flight alumni that play ball. So that's
right. You talking Stackhouse, Vince Carter, Rasheed Wallace.
Yeah.
You know, so when you talk about elite, I mean, think about it. That's why Miami was considered elite long after they were actually elite. Because even when they stopped winning, you still had guys like Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Sean Kelly. You still had guys like that in the league making it live on. Now, once they left, then it was over. So, you know, again, when you say UConn, you know, you go Ray Allen, Rip, Kimba, and then who you go from there? Like, seriously, I'm not even being funny. Who you go from there?
Emeka Okafor, Shabazz.
Well, hey, listen.
You know what I'm saying? You saying just who you go from there. I mean, that's them the names that come to mind.
So if your 4th player was Emeka Okafor, case dismissed. You know.
Yeah, because you can go on and on with them other ones, boy. You can name names for days with those cats.
I mean, but just off the top of your head, if everybody just came on under the same circumstance, you say blue blood, you probably gonna say Duke, Carolina, Kansas, Kentucky. In whatever order you like them, Duke, Carolina, Kansas, Kentucky, and then you go from there.
Right.
So
that's actually a good point.
So that's our men's national championship game talk. Now, this is what we really want to talk about tonight. Before we get to Angel Reed versus Caitlin Clark, let's start with Dawn Staley. After her loss to Iowa on Friday, Dawn Staley made comments that her team was basically called thugs, crooks, bullies, backyard brawlers, and they said it's at a media session before the game, like Thursday or something, at some type of event. And basically, that entire team is nothing but POCs, people of color. Which also ties into LSU beating the brakes off of Iowa on Sunday. I'm gonna start with Shot on this one. Why the hell? That's the question. Why the hell?
Well, I'm gonna kind of do something unconventional. Like y'all not gonna believe the answer I'm gonna give you, but I watched Don Staley's conference, press conference. Honestly, y'all know how I feel. Y'all know what things I feel strongly about. I honestly didn't think that the comment that was made as far as a bar fight, I didn't think it was a racially motivated comment. And because if you listen to the rest of the comment, she says trying to rebound against them is like heading into a bar fight. They're just so good. So I just didn't think that she was referencing that, because she was complimentary and very, very respectful of South Carolina's team. Now, and I've been hearing that a lot about South Carolina, but they dog. So for me, I just don't know where the line goes. I mean, I love the women's game. I officiate the women's game. I think there is a double standard, but it's like, are we going to give them the same, leeway that we get them in? Like, I know for players, Atwater can attest to this. He's a coach. You want your players to be a dog. When you say dog, that's a compliment. When you say beast, that's a compliment. When you say freak, that's a compliment. When you say killer, that's a compliment. So to me, I didn't take it as a slight against her team when the coach said, it's going to be like going into a bar fight. If I'm coaching the team, I want you to think that. But that's just me, and I stand behind Dawn Staley. She's my favorite coach. So I stand behind her, but I didn't think there was nothing wrong with that particular comment.
What about you, Mike?
I didn't see nothing wrong with the comment. Dawn Staley is, I heard in a rap song one time, when you're on top, there's envy. And she has been on top, and people been taking shots at her and her team. And that's just a part of the plan when you're in the top of the mountain. So I didn't really see nothing wrong with the comment.
D-Ronda.
What? I mean, I remember when I think this is his MVP year. Kevin Garnett, he was playing with Minnesota. He was describing how he wanted to go to war. He was gonna have his guns, his joints, and this and that. They gave him the business. All he was saying was, it's gonna be an all-out battle, and I'm getting my fellas ready, prepared to go on this all-out battle. We all know, if you watch Dawn Staley, she coached physicality, she coaches crashing the boards. She wants to out physical you and play a little finesse ball at the same time, but she really want to beat you on the boards, because more boards, more shots, more points. That's how she coaches. I don't see nothing wrong with saying you finna go into a bar fight, because you're gonna have to fight these women to get them off these boards. There's nothing wrong really with the comment, because all she's saying is we in for a battle. We gotta go in here and beat these girls on the boards, and that's gonna be a fight. I really don't see nothing wrong with the actual comment. We gotta stop being so soft on these comments and taking them and going left field on some stuff that she just saying, hey, it's gonna be a battle. That's her way of describing what it's gonna be like. That's how I looked at it. I didn't see it was like a big deal about it. It didn't faze me on that. It was ridiculous for all that.
Pretty Tony.
I think we all in unison on this. I really didn't see anything wrong with the comments either. No, I definitely didn't think that she meant it that way. I think it was more so as Atwater alluded to, it has been some guys and coaches that have been taking shots at South Carolina this year. So South Carolina was undefeated. So definitely it was a lot of pressure. I just think that caught up in the moment and the emotions of everything. I think she just took it the wrong way. I like Don Staley as well. Definitely a great coach. But I didn't really see anything wrong with the comments, and she ain't mean like that, man. She ain't mean like that.
I'm taking it a whole different way because it was told to her before the game. It wasn't even that same day. It was like overheard and brought to her in that aspect. And I can see both sides of this, but at the same time, though, I'm taking it from the game perspective right here. I guess they look at her teams like that because her team can't shoot. I mean, it was apparent. If you have Caitlin Clark doing like this, so I think Ebony Johnson, I want to say, Ebony Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I saw that. I watched the game. I watched just about every bit of that game. They packed the paint so hard, they forced them women to shoot. And that's the one thing why she preaching to get rebounds. Because these guys can't shoot. She had an opportunity to get Angel Reese when Angel Reese went to the transfer portal. She visited South Carolina and LSU. She chose LSU because she was at Maryland, broke her foot, went in the transfer portal. Because imagine if Angel Reese was on the Maryland team that they beat in the Elite Eight.
Well, Maryland girls were loaded too.
Yeah, they were loaded. And they still lost by 15?
Mm-hmm.
If Angel Reese was on that team, that Maryland team, Maryland would have won the championship. But either way, I see both sides of it. I just think those comments coming from a reporter, to me, just seems inappropriate as a father of 4 girls. I'm just looking at it a different way.
She ain't really. What did she say wrong? All she did was say that we need to act like we going in the bar fight. She was saying we need to be as physical as they are. They are.
No, that's what the reporter. Okay, I guess we all hearing it differently, but I just see both ways. I just think it's a terrible blow, but not as bad as what Jill Biden has said about having Iowa come to the White House. You like that segue? Come to the White House with LSU. Basically like a participation trophy. You get some orange slices. Everybody get orange slices in the trophy.
Hey, do y'all think Jill Biden didn't know? Y'all think she been in the White House 2 years? Never mind. She knew. Yeah, she been there.
Well,
Never mind.
she was actually in the White House 10 years.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
Right.
Yeah, she knew. So,
if you haven't heard, or if you just have decided not to watch the news for a couple days, a week and a half ago, Caitlin Clark did like this to a player on I think it was Utah or Louisville.
Louisville.
But they really got that for Tony Montana. Anyway, then they disrespected South Carolina by not shooting because they can't shoot. But hey, you can't shoot. That's on y'all. Angel Reese, when they mollywopped them by 17, did the same thing. You can't see me. Ring me right here. The whole world was in a tizzy because Angel Reese gave that same energy back to Caitlin the Crier. This is a dumb question. We already know the answer to this. I'm gonna start with Mike on this one. Is there a double standard for black and white athletes?
What's wrong with you, man?
I'm sorry. Let me mute myself.
Wrong ratio, man. Is there a double standard between black athletes and white athletes?
Yes.
There's a double standard between black athletes and white athletes, but there's more of a double standard between men and women athletes. Angel Reese and she has been in the news all season. She has been called this and that. She's been given texts by refs all season. So all she did was put the cherry on top. That's all she did. Did she do anything wrong? In my opinion, no. Caitlin Clark doing anything wrong? That's part of basketball, man. That's part of sports. If you don't ever play basketball or play sport and didn't talk trash, I mean, and everybody don't talk trash, but that's a part of the game. The problem with the game was we had an all-black team against an all-white team. That's the problem. If that had been South Carolina and LSU, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But because it was America's darling and Caitlin Clark, Caitlin Cook, whatever her name is, and you had LSU, this girl has been a villain all year. That's the problem. That's what it was. But what she did or what Caitlin Clark did, man, that's part of sports, man. That's part of it.
I'm gonna say Horatio for last because I know he's gonna have some thoughts on this. Go ahead, David.
Well, of course, it's a double standard. Piggybacking off Mr. Atwater, there's been a many a time, and he, Tony, Fabian, you go down to that cage in Fort Valley, and that competitive nature come out in you on that basketball court, and everybody get to talking trash. Who can't stop who? You can't do this, and that. Trash talking is definitely part of the game. Now, Caitlin Clark said you can't see me after, if I'm not mistaken, that was a 40-point triple-double. And she talking trash to say you can't see me in no form of fashion. But when Angel reached them, when Angel reached them coming there, that girl from Baltimore said she used to playing with boys, she used to talking trash, and she up, can't nobody stop her, you too little. You can't see me, ring. Come on, man. It's all a part of the game. It's all a part of the game. Some people talk trash, some don't. Some just play and kill you quietly. That's still talking trash in the form of just not saying nothing. But when you competitive and when you trying to go out there and win a ring and you got somebody that you know can't stop you, or you gonna talk. And when you can back it up, you gonna make sure you let them know, yeah, you talking about I can't see you can't see me. So I don't really see nothing wrong with Caitlin or Angel because both of them are competitors. The double standard is, yeah, it is color, and Mike is right. Yeah, it is gender. I agree. I agree with both premises.
All right, pretty Tony.
As far as the double standard goes, I mean, it's a double standard between black folks and white folks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely.
So I mean, that's of course is a double standard when it comes to the athletes, you know what I'm saying, as well. I mean the trash talk, man. No, I think it definitely got blew out of proportion. No, that is definitely part of the game. No, in the heat of battle, man, people wolf at each other. You know what I'm saying? That's what that's just what we do. That's part of it. But to I mean, I guess to kind of be different, like I know I usually am when it comes to these topics. I will say that I do think that it was a tad bit excessive, because they were up big. The game was basically over. I don't know if Caitlin Clark was woofing during the game. I don't know. So that might have been the context that I would need to feel like it wasn't as excessive as I thought it was initially. But I mean, it was kind of excessive, man. Like I said, you're up big, the end of the game. She was following her around and was doing it. Like she was walking off the court. So, but like I say, that's not to take away from what LSU did. That's not to take away from their performance. That's not to blow it out of proportion like it should turn into the big deal that it turned into the next day and the days after. It wasn't that serious, but I mean, just to keep it 100, you know what I'm saying? I think it was a tad bit excessive though.
Before Shot jumps in, I'm gonna get a little context. I'm guessing because the way they I mean, if you can't shoot, you pat the paint. in my Michael Jordan voice, what LSU saw what Iowa did to South Carolina, they took it personally.
But that's South Carolina. That's not LSU.
But
I hear what you're saying. I don't know if it's that. I don't know if Caitlin Clark was woofing because I mean, obviously
the whole tournament.
Yeah, I was saying obviously she talked smack too. So I don't know if she was woofing that game. You know what I'm saying? And that was the put you back in your place. You know what I'm saying? After the game was over with type deal. I mean, I don't know.
I actually think it's just what you said, Tony, because Caitlin Clark, like Fave said, the whole tournament. But the thing is, she was backing it up. So she was talking and killing you at the same time. So when you got somebody from the neighborhood, Angel Reese is from Baltimore. She said it herself. She played with boys. They talk trash to her. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna talk trash because that's what I do. So you've been woofing the whole time. I'm gonna give you everything you gave everybody else while I'm beating you. So I look at it from that standpoint. I understand you saying it's excessive, but when you got somebody who's been utterly destroying people and talking trash to them, when you utterly destroying her, you're gonna see what it feel like. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm just saying if you can dish it out, you got to take it, baby. Can't take the heat. Get out that kitchen.
Oh, absolutely. You gotta take it. I just like I say. I mean, it's not wrong. I just think it was a little bit excessive. You know what I'm saying? But it's part of the game. Yeah, you know, it is what it is.
I feel you.
All right, let's get shot in there.
Man, okay. So first of all, I don't know what the hell going on. It's a full moon, but me and Tony agreeing like 100%. We like 2 for 2 on as far as I'm concerned on what's going on, right? I thought it was a bit excessive. Like you followed her around the court. You followed her around the court. You doing this, but let me first of all let's give Caitlin Clark her props. She's a stone. She's a hooper.
Yes, sir.
In any park, on any Martin Luther, gym, clubhouse, cage, Martin Luther, Rodeo Drive. She got the bag. Much respect to this young lady. But now let's also call this what it is. You got Iowa versus LSU. The whole starting lineup for Iowa is Caucasian. They from the mountains of Caucasus.
There you go.
Right? Shout out to Big Straw. I know he's not with us today. And then you got them Bayou Barbies. You got them bad and bougies. And so I don't know if Anatoly on here because I'm from a phone, but I would love to know what the ratings were for this game. I know it was high. And it wasn't high just because it was basketball. It was high because you had the last 2 player of the years, okay, and then you had this young lady, and you see it all the time in a sport that's dominated by predominantly black people. Whenever you have someone that's white that can ball, they are applauded, lauded and praised more, and she's backing it up. So, you had all of the underbellies of everything that's going on in our country, in the world, from history. You had all of that going in this game. She had just beaten one team that was full of pretty much the same makeup with the black coach. And then, if you come and slay this other dragon, the world gonna look at it like they took a win the same way we felt like we took a win when Obama got hired. Let's call it what it is. But at the same time, it's a double standard. Because if y'all can look back, the same thing happened with the men in football. Tyreek Hill shot Tampa Bay the deuces on his way to running for a touchdown. And as soon as Antoine Wingfield got a chance to play it back, he shot him the deuce. They talked about it a little bit. Nobody went to this, but I agree with Tony. I think it was a little bit excessive, but I think the comments made it worse. Now, y'all could have said, okay, Angel Reese, you're doing a little bit too much. But then you had some of these people came on here and called her classless.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's when it went. That's when
Keith Olbermann called her an effing idiot.
Yeah.
You are national known broadcaster, and you call her a effing idiot. Come on, man.
So from that, thank you for saying that, Water. So now, tell me how you really feel. You can't be calling me a effing idiot just because I did that. Mm-hmm. Like y'all heard what Tony said. It was a little bit excessive, right? Hey, young lady, you probably did a little bit too much. I don't know if all of that was called for. But an effing idiot? Classless?
Then
Tell us how you really feel.
Then what tripped me out, Shot, he came back and said, well, I now that I got the information, I really don't watch women's basketball. So he tried to dumb it down a little bit. But you already put it how you felt, bro.
Oh, wow.
Ain't nobody know what you talking about.
Exactly. But thank you, Anatoly. Boy, my producer always come through. 12 million viewers. That got to be a record.
Yeah, they say that's
it is. It was
some percent increase, bro.
Now, why y'all think that was a record?
You
because
just
the same basketball people been watching.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me where the new viewers came from. Tell me where the new viewers came from. But shout out to Caitlin Clark. She's a stone cold. Hey, look at here, man. I put that tape in that morning. We was all on the chat. I say, oh my God. Because when and true, I'm gonna be real. When they mentioned her name, I said, what? Player of the year? Who? Like Caitlin Clark, they all tripping.
Hey,
let me put the video. Then I said, let me put the tape in. Man, look at here. She went to work. She went to work.
Hey, I caught her. I didn't really know nothing about her. I know she Big Ten, and Big Ten Network was showing her game. They was playing Michigan State, and she was shooting from the Spartan, bro. She had gated Michigan State 43 easy. I'm like, God, who is this? And I just started watching her from that point on. I'm like, I didn't even know who she was, man. I'm like, this girl can go.
It's a shame
I ain't
they
hear
haven't
about
talked
it.
about it until then.
I ain't hear about it. I ain't hear about it until they started calling her the woman Steph Curry.
Right.
So I was like,
what? When was that? Was that in March?
Who was this? Yeah. I was like, who's this chick?
That Michigan State game was in early February. So it was like, who is this? I mean, she was killing State, killing them.
It's a travesty that they weren't talking about her more. Like, I knew who Angel Reese was because, more because of the things that she was doing off the floor. But this chick is a certified baller. You hate that what's going on in the world did spill over onto the hardwood, because that's honestly what it was. It was a lit. And when I saw it, I said, "Little mom, you doing too much." But I ain't think she was effing classless. Like,
that was crazy.
Like,
let me clear this.
28 and then almost 9 assists. So Caitlin Clark was putting in work.
Let me clear this up for everybody too, as an official, and Ratio can attest to this too. They got a delay a game early in the game, and one thing we as officials, we're not going to go hunt no ball down. Give us the basketball. She threw the ball away. That's a delay a game. That was a tick. Problem with the call was people didn't see the delay a game early in the game, and everybody like, that was a bad call. That was a bad call. Ratio, tell them, we're not going to go hunt no basketball down. As a player, give us the ball. Point blank, period. Now, people may be like, well, they were wrong. They did. That's the rule. That is the rule to give us the basketball. Now, maybe she could have got a warning again or something. I don't know. But at that juncture, would have been the national championship game. That's some stuff you just can't do. So as an official, we're not going to hunt no basketball. We're not going to go run after the ball or give us the basketball.
I disagree with that like 90%. But you're not wrong, Atwater. You're not wrong in what you're saying. If I'm asking for the ball and you get the ball and you throw it behind you, that's fine. But she wasn't concerned about that basketball. The ball bounced to her and she flicked it away. In my opinion, she's not obligated to find the ref. She got the ball away from her. She threw it back. And then you on that big old floor on the national stage, somebody that when the ball bounced over there, somebody going to throw it back to you. It's not a high school game where you throw the ball and it roll behind the stands or some crazies like that. Somebody going to get that basketball to you. And trust me, when I was doing the games up in Niceville, the championship games, I remember one of my partners asked the kid, like, yo, like, throw me the ball, please. Like, please give me the ball. Because, he let the ball bounce. And man, I walked over there. I said, man, we ain't asking for no more balls no more. We gonna bang him. We gonna pop his behind from here on out. And then he like, oh, no, I ain't ref. I ain't been, don't touch the ball. You know, I was petty with it. Don't touch the ball. I don't think that was her intention. The ball bounced to her. She flicked the ball behind her and then got like, you know, and don't get me wrong. Those are supposed to be the best refs that college basketball has to offer for this year. I wouldn't have done that. That's just me.
Is it just me, or that whole game before we move on? Was that one of the most worst? One of the not one of the most worst. One of the let me be polite. Questionable games to be refed in the national championship game.
Hey, the foul count ended up being 19 for LSU, 18 for Iowa. No, it wasn't.
Not talking about not just foul. I mean,
I agree with that one. That South Carolina game, I had some issues. I thought that the officials were kind of inconsistent to start off the game, the championship game. But I had some real issues with the South Carolina game. Jamon, me and Jamon, you know, if y'all pay attention with me and, you know, Jamon, some of the questions that, you know, legendary coach Jamon was asking, you know, I thought was real good. And I can tell you as an official, I wouldn't want to officiate a Jamon Sims coach game unless I'm a college basketball official. Because Jamon know what the hell he's talking about. And so if you're not on your P's, Q's, and R's, you know, and you go coach, you go referee a Jamon Sims game, then you're gonna have some issues with him. You know, because y'all know Jamon, he not I haven't seen him coach, but you know, if he's the same way he is as a person, you know, he gonna slice you and dice you and make you really, really mad and question yourself. You know, because he knows the position, he knows the game. So I wouldn't have done that as an official. I thought some of that stuff they should have taken back.
To put this in context, the women's national championship game had 9.9 million viewers. UConn, San Diego State, 5.2 million. Down 20.
That basically go back to what that basically go back to what Horatio said earlier when the blue blood question came out, because you follow the 5 stars, the big players. Everybody know Angel Reese was the number 2 player coming out in high school. They know who she was. Of course, Caitlin Clark, they found out about her, but she was as advertised. And you had to, you know, you got the premier coach, the undefeated who haven't lost in a year. You had those that it was big time players on the women's side, where it was more unknowns on the men's side. I mean, only basketball aficionados know who Brian Butcher is. Some people, even some of them, don't even know who he is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I saw a lot of people on Facebook and Twitter bashing this game, man. If you a college basketball fan, you're gonna watch it regardless. As like myself, me, Damon, Tony, Fade. But the problem with the men's game, and I saw this too, somebody made a comment that women basketball is more exciting than men basketball. Excuse my language. That's bullshit. The game was more exciting because we knew who the names were. We knew the stars. Didn't nobody know who would play for San Diego State or UConn. Out of them 2 teams, you might have 2 or 3 dudes that get drafted from San Diego State and UConn. So there's no way a women's game is. I mean, nobody out there dunking. It's not more exciting. We just knew more names. That's just like if you watch a movie that's got stars versus a movie that, hell, you don't really know which one you're gonna be more into. Movie with the stars. So Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, they stars.
Yeah, but
that's what made it more exciting.
Let's call it what it is, and my producer put it up there. What Caitlin Clark did was she woke up the Heels. she woke up all them people. What? They did what? They beat South Carolina. What? You mean to tell me we got a chance to win this thing? No. That's what happened. She woke them up. She beat one of the teams. And so everybody got up. They pulled their lazy boy back they pulled the latch on the lazy boy back up. You know what I'm saying? And they said, hey, Let's watch this. That's why you had 12 million viewers. 12 million. They wanted to see history.
All right, let me get to the comments right quick before we get to our last question. Yovi, friend of the show, friend of the house, wife.
You mean head of the house? Yeah, you talking about friend of the show, friend of the house. All this respect. Okay, get your bag whooped on live TV now.
Oh, they gonna be no ad whooping.
I thought you were smart, Fave. Okay.
We'll be no ad whooping today.
Hold on, let me get my shirt ready because I think I'm about to be hosting in another minute.
Come on, we'll ad
I'm about to be hosting in a minute.
I get the big piece of chicken.
Okay, that boy live feed gonna go dead.
I get the big piece of chicken.
Talking about friend of the show.
All right.
Okay. Tell your bitch she don't want to see me next year, her or Tony.
Yeah. Gave Reese and LSU to Don Imus commentary talking about Keith Olbermann.
Right.
I can see why Keith Olbermann has been bounced around from several different places. Jamon in the comment in response to LSU Iowa's game being misrefed, he said no, the South Carolina game was trash. It was. We are about to get to the comments with Jill Biden, which goes to great segue. As we know, as I open up this topic, Jill Biden wanted LSU and Iowa to come to the White House. Angel Reese said, "No, we good. We're going to the Obama's house." Great show. Back to my original question I asked you earlier. What the hell?
Man, look at here. And you know Damon, who I think is a Trump supporter, God help him. He sent me that clip where Jill Biden said that
Miami Damon.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
Man, look here, that's we gonna say that for Damon for the barbershop talk. We gonna have a Uncle Rufus edition to the barbershop. See, I'm going too far. I'm out of line right now. You know what I'm saying? Y'all about to create a civil war. I ain't gonna even be able to come back to Atlanta to see my brother. But anyway, what was No, this is what it is, bro. At the end of the day, them your people. Like, you gonna do what you listen. Everybody on this podcast and that's watching and that's typing, you don't put on a different face for the supervisor, you know, for your wife. You know, some of y'all back him out the car knowing damn well you don't normally back him out the car, but now you about to take her out. You about to take Miss Yovi out, so now you want to back him out the car, knowing that car been dirty for about 3-4 weeks. Okay, we all put on the front hand there. Don't be laughing. Everybody raise your hand if you get it. Boy, that car ain't never been that clean. Look at him. Anyway, that's all Gia did. She got back to her roots. Really? They caught her off guard. You know, listen, all them people was excited about Iowa playing in the game. That's all. Them her people. She knows she got to invite LSU, but she was so proud of her people. If you ever been a coach and your kid wasn't that good, you made up another trophy so your kid could get a trophy. That's all. She was so proud of her people and the way that they performed on the big stage. She was like, you know what, I'm just touching. We going to invite y'all too. But Angel Reese and them, they said hell to the no. Okay, y'all let them go. We going to Obama. They did just what black people do. They done invited themselves to Auntie Michelle's house.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Auntie Michelle, can we come to your house? Michelle, them say, we just here. Whoa, we ain't got nothing to do with this. They done invited themselves to Auntie Michelle's house. That's all that happened, fam. Y'all know that.
Yeah, we know.
Pretty much. Somebody has said, I forget who it was. It was God, I can't think who it was, but it was a national writer said, Dr. Jill Biden, just the mother in her came out. She was just proud of Iowa, and she just wanted to show them some love. So,
Man, you can't say that around us. You can't do that around us.
right. I'm just saying,
You got to be careful with us, man.
Yeah, I'm just saying Horatio pretty much nailed it. It's like now all of a sudden the runner-up can come.
Yeah.
Really?
When they look like that.
You can't say stuff around us, boy. I'm telling you.
But they call it what it is. It's not just the mother in her. Go ahead and say it.
She trying to get the Vikings from Iceland in there. Yeah, you know.
Okay.
She like you said, all the people came down from the mountains of Caucasus. They gathered up and pulled up, got them a couple of Steve wives.
Man, that dude killed me when he say that, man. That's so funny to me. The mountain of Caucasus.
I got a good one. The cast of friends.
He sound like a professor.
You mean the cast?
He said the mountain of Caucasus.
Yeah, man.
Hey, but that's what it is, though. I mean, I was over my uncle's house because it was his birthday. We was watching it, bro, and he was like, "Man, let's just call it what it is." We white folk out here watching the game because it's white folks playing in the game. The starting five is all white. It's what it is. So I mean, it is what it is, man. Horatio right, bro. They came down and they thought they had a chance.
Hey, but and I don't mean to hold this segment, but I just gotta say this. Let's not be hypocritical now. That's why some of us watched it too.
Most definitely.
Wait a minute. She did what to South Carolina? Oh, LSU, y'all better handle business. Man, you got some people turning in ain't no LSU fans.
Man, when
they went on that, whoa.
Watching that national semifinal made me like I got to watch this game. I gotta see what happens.
Exactly. So let's go ahead and not be double standards ourselves. That's why a lot of us watch the game.
I watch the women's national championship game every year, so I try to
stay
in
tune.
tune.
We talking about
look at the kid in the background. He sound like you saw him. I watch the national championship game every year.
Well, people ain't watching that. Matter of fact, so who won it before South Carolina won it?
Can't tell you.
UConn.
It's
gonna be the first national championship game where people remember the runner-up.
I believe UConn.
I can't tell you. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I can't tell you.
So, anyway, that was fun.
He said that was fun.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you pick. It ain't hard to pick UConn. Hell, you picked UConn before South Carolina just went on this little run. You probably right 90% of the time.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe Notre Dame when the girl hit the shot. That's all. You know. And listen. Okay. I'm gonna say that for my parting shot. But go ahead.
My bad. Stanford. It was Stanford.
Oh, it was Stanford. Okay.
I tell you, I promise you, I didn't know. I ain't gonna even like. That's why I said I couldn't tell you. I ain't gonna even act like I knew. Because I'm gonna be quite honest. When Iowa put Dawn them out, actually when she hit that long three, that dagger, I said, uh-oh. And then when they finally won, I said, yeah, I'll be watching this one. I already said I wasn't gonna miss it. So that Horatio right on that one. I would say 75 to 85% of the people. That's the reason why they turned that game on.
Hey, Anatoly, can you tell us what the rating was last year? And then I got a question for Tony Atwater. Did y'all plan on watching that game before she went? Did y'all plan on watching the LSU South Carolina championship? Did you plan on watching that game on Sunday?
I watch the national championship every year. So
the women, okay. What about you, Tony?
Yeah, I ain't planning on watching it, man, because of Don Staley, man. I want to see, you know what I'm saying? I want to see history. I was hoping she went undefeated. So,
okay.
I was following the storylines per se.
I got you.
That would have been another reason, though, Tony. If they would have, a lot of people would have tuned in to see if she was going to be in a place to become the next Gino, make a run. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that would have been a storyline, too, because they hadn't lost a game in a year.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Give y'all some quick context, too, also in the women's game. Notre Dame has been to the Final Four 5 times in the last 13 years, only won one title. Not the Final Four, the championship game. 5 times, only one wins.
UConn.
Yeah, they played them when
I'm
UConn
trying
was
to tell you, you call it, boy.
Lost twice to UConn, lost twice to Baylor, and lost once to Texas A&M.
That's right. Baylor did win a couple.
Baylor
With
won
bricks.
3. Baylor won 3. Kim Mulkey used to be.
I was about to say, ain't that's the
LSU.
LSU coalition, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Even though
it's a fourth one, right?
Yeah, there's a 4th one, and she the first
Yeah.
women's coach to win in 2 different locations, even though she's homophobic, but that's neither here nor there. Let's get to the party shots. Go ahead, Damon.
Yeah, I just want to say something short and sweet. Everybody need to pay close attention to your health. You got to keep up with your doctor's appointments. Make sure you eat right. Make sure you take care of business as far as daily. If you got to take meds, take your meds. Exercise, do everything. It was a little house scare, man, and you just make you want to push someone to keep doing what they're doing. Not saying that my wife didn't do, but it's just she's been sick for so long. Sometimes it happens from what the doctors say. Sometimes it happened because her immune system it just fails on her sometimes. So my part shot short and sweet. Make sure you take care of yourself, man, because you know your body. We getting older. Your body takes a little longer time to heal. You got to make sure you healthy, man. Vitamins, all that type of stuff. Just make sure you're healthy.
All right, go ahead. Pretty Tunnel, what do you call him?
Man, I really don't have nothing, man, this week other than the fact that I saw something interesting a couple of days ago, where I saw there was some talk about the NCAA possibly exploring the notion of expanding the NCAA basketball tournament. Yeah, man. I've talked on this show a couple times, man, about what I think about college basketball right now in the state that it's in. I think that would be a horrible, horrible move. It'll definitely take away from the meaning of the regular season. And just, I kind of understand the premise, just kind of like where, football, you definitely want to get the mid-major schools and stuff like that opportunities to get in the tournament. But I think in the state that college basketball is in right now, I think mid-major schools have the opportunity to win national championships because they're more jailed, as far as playing together for a long time and knowing each other. We just talked about it on this show a little while ago about how, the last basically big time school that, get all these 5-stars and these one and done. It's been 8-9 years since one of them has won a championship. You see the San Diego States and the Gonzagas and those type of schools are becoming more prevalent. So I don't think you have to expand the tournament in order to do that. Just my 2 cents.
And don't forget, the transfer portal has opened up so much stuff, so much opportunities for players to, as far as leaving and moving around like coaches be doing. So that's why we had so much parity this year in college basketball. So
and it's gonna continue too, y'all. It's not gonna stop. What you seeing in the tournament now, it's not gonna stop. It's just gonna continue because you got right now. I think it's like 1,200 dudes in the transfer portal, and it's a lot of dudes in the portal with starters. So what goes on with that transfer portal? These dudes that's at these mid-major schools, they think they're ready now to go play at the Dukes and Kentuckys and Kansas. So most of the people in the portal are from mid-major schools. So this is not going to the men's game is not going to stop. You're going to see more parity. You're going to probably see more 16 seeds, knock out 1 seeds. It's not going to stop.
All right. Mike, your party shot.
Man, I want to send a shout out to one of the greatest broadcasters of all time who signed off Monday night during the NCAA tournament. Jim Nance called his last NCAA tournament. He's not leaving broadcasting. He's going to stick to his first love, which is golf. He's going to do play-by-play for football. But he has been one of the best and most iconic voices in all the sports. He's He's been doing NCAA tournaments. I think they said since 86, 87. And he is giving it up to focus more on golf and football. Shout out to Jim Nance, man. As a big-time college basketball fan, thank you for broadcasting these games. And you know, you have been a major fixture in the NCAA tournament for years. Salute, Jim Nance.
Definitely salute.
Yes, sir.
Hello, friends.
And ain't nothing like that one shining moment, y'all. At the end of the game, man, that one shining moment is something else, bro.
A tradition.
Oh, he'll be down there calling the Masters.
Yeah, he's already down there. A tradition unlike any other. The Black Thought. Brought to you
I like that. I want to know when we gonna sign off on Dick Vitale, man. Come on, Dick, it's time to go. That ain't even my part in shot, but
Yeah,
Lord,
league force up.
Man, leave Dick V alone, man.
Man, Dick V need to leave us alone.
Hey, man, probably the only thing keeping him going right now. Shot, leave him alone, man. For real, man.
Hey, but listen, you it's so funny, Tony, because to watch Diggy V age over, you know, in front of our eyes, you gotta look at
I know it.
Be like, woo. I ain't no spring chicken myself, because I remember when he used to jump up and down, and we don't do that either. But scintillating, sensational diaper dandies. Like his sign off gonna be awesome when it does happen. It may never happen, but I want to start my black off by saying, and the winner is women college sports. So we just did a segment tonight. It's running like an hour, 15 minutes, and about 40 of those minutes was on women's sports, on women athletes in general. What we did not discuss was what I also love when I see these fierce competitors play and perform, you know, like the male counterparts. I love listening to their press conferences and hearing the way these young women articulate the game of basketball. When you watch Aaliyah Boston post conference, man, that young lady is sensational. She's pleasant to hear. You could tell she's an awesome basketball player, but the way she spoke of her teammates and her coach, you know, that was just joyful for me to watch. Another thing I want to address is this double standard, and we got a hard glimpse of it. So I'm gonna just run back some revisionist history of this double standard. This is no different than when Tom Brady breaks something on the sideline, he's passionate. When Odell Beckham does something on the sideline, he crazy. When Duke with Christian Laettner and Bobby Hurley, whenever they played UNLV, it was the thugs versus the choir boys. When Miami played Notre Dame, it was the Catholics versus the convicts. When Duke again had to go up against, Carolina had to go up against Michigan, it was the thugs. Like, this double standard been going around forever. My question is, when is it going to stop? So what we saw was revisionist history, or history repeating itself with these young women. Now women's sports has come up and it's starting to trickle down into there, the double standard. Same thing. Coach is passionate, other player is losing their mind. We need to do better than that. America, we need to do better than that. That's my black thought.
Well, stated earlier, Kim Mulkey has won 4 national championships. This is the first at LSU. First women's coach to go ahead and win at 2 different locations. But that's not what I want to talk about. I just want to make sure we recognize that she's done this in 2 different locations. This is her second year at LSU winning national title. NCAA men's division. When are we going to adopt quarters? When are we going to get rid of the jump ball? Not get rid of the possession era for the jump ball. When are we going to modernize the game? Are y'all too busy looking at y'all pockets right now, like we making too much money has with the after four commercial breaks? Too much money. You can still get the breaks if you do it at the 5-minute mark. The possession arrow kills the flow of the game. Do the jump ball. Just do a jump ball. I bet you that'll stop the game from being muddled down. Because I got a possession arrow. Let me just tie them up so we get possession back. We got to do some things to make sure we're modernizing the game. Just look at the women's game. The game was more free flowing. The game was more pleasant to watch because they were on quarters. And plus, this is another idea. Foul trouble will not be as bad. It won't be as much of a hindrance. Maybe we just go up to 6 fouls. Go up to 6 fouls. Go up to 6 fouls. That could help. Do something. Because that might help. Because right now you're losing your viewers. And another thing you need to also do, too, you need to actually work with the NBA and the NBPA, excuse me, and figure out, are we going to do one year and done? Are we just going to let it go straight to the league? Or are we going to make it wait 2-3 years? Because it's one and done, it's not working. It's not working for y'all. Because their kids saying, I'm going to go to the G League and make $100,000 easy and then get drafted.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you going to do? This is where the NBPA owners, Adam Silver and Mark Emmert, while he's still the president of the NCAA, I think his term ends in 2024. Y'all need to sit down and talk. Y'all need to figure out what's best for everybody's league. What's best? Because
if they came up with a new CBA failure, they put it in there. They were going to keep it 1 year and done.
Well,
the new CBA just came out last week. They weren't going to go back to, going from high school. And they said one of the reasons why was the fact that like veteran players in the league. That was one reason that they mentioned. Veteran players in the league, getting moved out the way for high school kids. Plus, you got the G League now. So there's no need for kids to go from high school straight to the NBA. There's no need for it. But there was something mentioned in the article about veteran players in the league don't really care for high school players coming to the league. Something about the veteran players.
Is that my phone or his mic? Did y'all hear him? I didn't hear you. It was like a whole bunch of static.
He was saying that CBA they agreed to a CBA this past weekend. And part of the CBA is they're going to stay as a one and done. What I'm saying is add another year.
Make them go 2 years?
Make them go 2 years. Because think of the women's game, I know it's not as popular. I mean, WNBA is not as popular as the men's league. Whose mic is that?
It ain't me.
Yeah.
I think it's a ratio.
Oh, okay. With WNBA, we're running a little long. I know we're going to get out the way in just a second. We just got to get this in. There's something has to be done for us. Like I said, we all watch college basketball. Going back to UNLV, staying up late to watch them on Mountain West Conference, all that stuff. I could barely watch. I watched a lot of NCAA, and I barely knew who most of these guys were. The only player I really knew on the men's side was Grady Dick from Kansas because his last name is funny. Just saying it.
Oh man, just ain't crazy, man.
That's all the reason. And Obi Toppin, little bro. That's about it. But anyway, that's our show for the evening. We will see you on Sunday night. We out.
Peace, fella.